Hi guys, welcome to Anime Tori. Please don't forget to subscribe, like the video, comment, tell us what you think about the video, give us your opinions, your suggestions on how to improve the channel. We are open to taking advice from you guys as our audience, because we know that when we create content, we create it for you guys to enjoy. So please, any suggestions, any improvements that you have for the channel, please don't be afraid to tell us on the comment section what you think about the video and where we could improve, so that you guys can enjoy the content. And again, please subscribe, like, and share the video with your friends, share the channel with your friends, so that we can have many viewers and we can keep on posting more content for you guys to enjoy. Let's get down to business. So guys, in today's video we'll be looking at logia devil fruits, explaining their powers and also their users and how they are being used. For the beginners, let me explain what is a logia devil fruit. What is a logia? A logia devil fruit is a devil fruit that is characterized by the fact that it gives its user the power to take the form of a natural element, to produce and control it at will. So logia type devil fruits are known to be the rarest type of devil fruits, and they are considered to be powerful because a user who has a logia type devil fruit cannot be attacked by any person unless the person has haki. So guys, we'll be naming all 15 devil fruits in one piece, whether canonical or non-canonical. Starting at number 15, we have the Pasa no Mi. It is a non-canonical devil fruit. It is a logia type devil fruit that appears only in the Game Boy Advance game, and it allows the user to create, control, and transform into pieces of paper. This fruit was eaten by Simon. The Pasa no Mi is a small round fruit resembling an apple. And another thing, this fruit allows its user to transform into sheets of paper, to strike or dodge attacks like any other logia type devil fruit. It also appears that this transformation can be used to write something, such as his pirate symbol on a sheet, which would suggest that he can produce a certain amount of ink. And we can also see that he can transform into different more complex shapes like cards or books. This fruit is very effective against electricity. Going down to number 14, we have the Ame no Mi. It's also non-canonical. The Ame no Mi is a logia type devil fruit that appears in movie 4. It allows its user to transform into slimy syrup as well as control it. This fruit is special because it allows its user to control both a liquid and a solid element, which is quite very rare among logia type devil fruits. This fruit was eaten by Gaspadre. And like any other logia, he can use his power to dodge attacks, but his main attack is the creation of spikes to attack the enemy. He can further use the elastic properties of the syrup to mimic the powers of Luffy, Skamugomu no Mi. And going down to number 13, we are going to look at the Toro no Mi. It's also non-canonical. It was eaten by Honey Queen, and it is a logia type devil fruit that allows its user to transform into a liquid. But even though Toro means liquid, but the substance this user transforms into is not water. The fruit only exists in anime and it appears in movie 2. And as I said, it was eaten by Honey Queen. He uses this fruit for surprise attacks, and he also can transform into this liquid for quick movement and dodging maneuvers, and for moving through a pipeline to travel long distance in a short amount of time. Going to number 12, it's the Numa no Mi. The Numa no Mi is a devil fruit that is canonical. It is in the manga in the series. It is a logia type devil fruit that was eaten by Caribou. This fruit grants whoever eats it the ability to transform into a swamp man. This is to produce control at will and become the element of mud. With his devil fruit powers, Caribou can create bottomless swamps by turning the lower half of his body into a swamp via this transformation. He can capture living things like he did when he used his power to capture some mermaids. His bottomless swamp can be used as a storage place for his captured mermaids or the treasure he took from the Ryugu palace. In fact, his fighting style partially resides in storing multiple weapons like guns and swords inside his body, like an arsenal, and popping straight out of his body. He can also keep a reserve of food for a month inside his body to feed quickly if necessary. At number 11, we have the Yuki Yuki no Mi, aka the Snow fruit. It is a logia type devil fruit. It allows the user to create, control, and transform into the element of snow. And this fruit was eaten by Monette, but after her death, the fruit came back into circulation. Monette's devil fruit power allows her to produce, control, and become snow. Being a logia type user, she can turn into snow to evade attacks by making them pass through his body. She can manipulate the density of snow in order to form solid snow barriers that are extremely tough and therefore difficult to destroy. Monette can easily push through his own obstacles and has the ability to weaken a person when they come in contact with Monette's cold body, resulting in unconsciousness. And going down now to number 10, the Gasu Gasu no Mi. The Gasu Gasu no Mi was eaten by Scissor Clown, and it's a logia fruit that allows a person who eats it to become a gas man. He can create, control, transform into gas. This fruit allows a person to float in air and move faster, or to grab solid objects located at a long distance during battles. Caesar uses his fruit primarily offensively, as shown by emphasizing his enemy or releasing massive amounts of explosive gas. In desperate situations, it can fuse with other gases to greatly increase its power and size. Going down to number 9 is the Moku Moku no Mi, aka Smoke fruit. This allows the user to transform into a smokeman, and he can turn into smoke. This fruit was eaten by Captain Smoker of the Marines. Smoker is known thanks to this devil fruit under the name White Hunter. Smoker primarily used his smoke to capture his opponents, earning him the epithet White Hunter. It can manipulate the density of the smoke he produces to make it more or less compact, allowing him to tighten and maintain his grip on his enemies. Like some logia users, he can fly by turning his lower body into smoke and propelling himself with it. It coats its targets in incorporeal smoke before compacting it later to grab and capture them. He uses his smoke to power the engine of his motorcycle, the Bilowa bike, which allows him to move quickly across land. At number 8, we have the Morimori no Mi. The Morimori no Mi was eaten by Aramaki. The Morimori no Mi is a logia type devil fruit that allows its user to sprout all kinds of vegetation from its body, as well as control and transform into it, thus turning its user into a forest human. Ryokugi uses his ability primarily to restrain targets during combat, wrapping vines around them and sucking moisture from their bodies to drain their strength until they become too weak to fight. And Ryokuguryu seems to be able to taste the liquid that he absorbs through his vines, and demonstrated when he impaled a barrel of alcohol on a branch and commented on the taste of it. Ryokuguryu can also perform very unorthodox feats with the plants he spawns, such as growing a giant flower on his back and using it to fly by spinning it rapidly like a propeller. He can use Byoshoku Haki in conjunction with his plant appendages to increase its penetration power. Going down to number 7, the Sunasuna no Mi. The Sunasuna no Mi is a logia type devil fruit that turns the user into a sandman. The powers were first seen, not explained, when Crocodile used them to dry a flower in a grass while talking through Dendenmushi with Sanji in Little Garden. The powers were finally shown during the altercation between Crocodile and Poo-Poo and his gang, and named when he avoided Nefertari Vivi's attack using his power. Crocodile masters his powers to such an extent that he can transform into sand as a reflex action to enemy attacks. This ability was confirmed when Doflamingo cut off his head when he was distracted in a desert area. His power makes him nearly invincible. He can also absorb moisture from anything except metals. The ability allows him to destroy everything around him. Like every other logia type fruit eaters, he can fly by transforming his lower body into sand. Crocodile has been shown to be able to form spears and swords out of sand, as well as storm sand, coarse quicksand, and dehydrate on contact. Going down to number 6 is the Here No Me, aka the Ice fruit. The Ice fruit is a logia devil fruit that produces and manipulates ice and can turn the user into a freezing human. Kuzan primarily uses these devil fruit powers for combat. With the power to manipulate ice, Kuzan can produce ice weapons as well as freeze his opponents on physical contact. He can generate enough ice to freeze a giant, a sea king, or several square meters of ocean in seconds. He was even able to freeze tsunamis produced by a Whitebeard, who is often hailed as the strongest man in the world. His main combat style is to use his freezing power to immobilize and nullify his enemies by freezing their bodies, threatening to break them either with his hand or chunk of ice. So let's go down, guys. Now we are going to number 5. But before you get to number 5, please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you think about the video, and thank you for staying this far. The Meramera no Mi is a logia type devil fruit that allows the user to transform into fire and to create and control it at will. It was controlled and used by podcast DAs, and later it was eaten by Sabo. The power granted by the fruit has been used in a wide variety of ways. However, this power was in Ace's hands is unknown, as Luffy mentioned that he didn't have the power of any fruit the day he left for the sea, although it is assumed that he already had most of his powers around of 3 years. In addition to being used in combat, Ace has also been seen using his power to rise into the air or to propel his raft. Ace shared Luffy's tendency to name his techniques, with the only difference being that Ace named his attacks entirely in Japanese and often made up 2-word phrases or based on different methodologies. And going down, guys, to the next devil fruit, let's talk about the Gorogoro no Mi, aka the lightning fruit. The Gorogoro no Mi is a logia type fruit, allows the user to transform into electricity, making the user an electric human. It was consumed by Enel, and the power of the Gorogoro no Mi are used by Enel primarily for combat and as a form of punishment for Scorpions who commit crimes. He is capable of generating electricity in a variety of ways, and it appears that some of his attacks derive from the drums on his back. He can also use the heat of electricity from him to melt gold and change his shape to whatever he wishes, including the ability to superheat his weapons. Enel also uses electricity from him as the main source to power Maxim, allowing him to fly. He also uses his ability to move at lightning speed through conductive materials like gold. Finally, Enel, by combining his mantra with his powers, is able to increase his range thanks to the emission of electromagnetic waves, which makes him imitate a radar, thus acquiring something similar to omniscience. Going down to number 3, our favorite devil fruit logia, the Makumaku no Mi. The Makumaku no Mi transforms its user into a lava human. When it comes to travel, the user of this fruit, Sakazuki, can move at extremely high speeds, launching himself like a real volcano on his enemy, and is even capable of melting earth and rock to make underground tunnels to move through the underground. It has also been shown that just by preparing an attack, the extreme heat of his body is capable of melting any enemy weapons around him. He has also been shown several times capable of passing through entire bodies with his power, and he was the main responsible for the destruction of Moby Dick. Going to number 2, the Pika Pika no Mi. The Pika Pika no Mi is called the light fruit in English, and it causes its user to transform into a light human. It was consumed by Borsalino, so far known that he uses his power to be able to move at the speed of light. He's so fast that he went so far as to claim that Luffy using Gear 2 was too slow, and drastically increased the strength and speed of his kicks. Although he is able to travel at the speed of light, it can be noticed that it takes him a few seconds to reach her, as Silver Riley was able to stop him by attacking him with her sword. Borsalino also uses his power to launch powerful laser beams attacks from his feet that cause massive explosion on impact. And going down to the final logia fruit, and yet the strongest logia devil fruit, which is used by Marshall D. Teach Blackbeard, the Yami Yami no Mi. In English, it is known as the dark fruit. It turns the user into a dark human. The fruit is very unique, and even for a logia type, and the ability it grants is considered the most diabolical. The power granted from the fruit, as seen by Teach, have so far been used mostly for combat purposes. He was able to come out victorious against Ace in battle, his former commander, despite Ace possessing the Mera Mera no Mi. Blackbeard has two main methods of using the power of this fruit. The first is to spread its darkness throughout the land, trapping its targets and everything else in the same area, and then absorbing them into darkness with extreme thrashing force, finally regenerating the remaining debris with equal force. The second focus on the nullification of devil fruit powers, which he combines with the pull force of gravity, which pulls his ranged targets into hands and then hits them with his enormous force. That's it for the 15 logia devil fruits, canonical and non-canonical. Thank you for watching the video till the end. Thank you for clicking the like button. Thank you for clicking the subscribe button, and thank you for clicking the bell icon so that you can be notified whenever we post new content, so that you don't miss anything that we post, any video that we upload. You can never miss it if you click the bell icon, and the YouTube channel will notify you whenever we update or post something in the channel. And again, please share the channel with your friends and help us to grow so that we can keep on posting more content about anime that we love so much, every day, every time.